Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
Just a giant ball pit. You sit among the balls, and then like if you need to look at a paper or write on your laptop, it's balanced on top of the balls.
It is possible working at home is changing the nature of professional ambition. A piece last month in the journal by the a piece last month in
Munch.
A piece last month in the journal by Callum Borchers cited Johnson & Johnson CEO cited Jonathan Johnson, CEO of Overstock.com. To foster a sense of togetherness and shared mission, he invited everyone on staff to join him for lunch every Tuesday at the company's Midvale, Utah headquarters. In 8 months, a total of 10 people attended. Most of the time, I eat my peanut butter sandwich alone, Mr. Johnson told Mr. Borchers. When I was 25, if I had a chance to eat my sandwich with the CEO, I'd have been there. This motherfucker is eating a peanut butter sandwich every day. What are you?
He's a Warren Buffett sicko.
Oh, he's a Warren Buffett guy?
Yeah, the sickest of the sickos.
Yeah.
But again, when you were 25, if like your drunk as shit boss like takes a shine to you, like if you laughed at his Polak joke, he's like, "Hey, you want to be in charge of the new Asian division?"
Yeah.
And then that happens. What is going to happen from this conversation? You're going to give him some fucking homespun bullshit from Dale Carnegie or something you read in like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and then forget his name the minute he leaves?
It's also like, presumably the company you were working at was like out on the up and up. This is Overstock.com. This is like a company that's been in a death spiral for 15 years. This is a company that's only been kept alive by like low interest rates.
During the Trump years, that actually would have been a smart financial position to just short any company where any high-level official or any high-level executive had a personal relationship with Donald Trump.
Ooh.
Like anybody who was in the inner circle, it's like it's a time bomb. Like MyPillow, done for.
All right, here's the home stretch here. We're pro-ambition in this space.
What? Wait a minute. What space?
in the
Her mind palace?
in the burbling space.
In the mind palace that we're trapped in?
Peggy's burbling brain.
We're basically in the cell. She's Vincent D'Onofrio, and we're trapped in her burbling ecosystem.
We're pro-ambition in this space. God gave you gifts. Bring them fruitfully into the world. Rise and make things better. Then again, maybe this age is making people ambitious for different things. Here are my 2 greatest concerns. The first is that in my lifetime, The Office is where America happened each day. That's why many of our most popular TV programs were about The Office.
This is the good shit.
From the Mary Tyler Moore Show, through Mad Men, from ER through 30 Rock and Parks and Recreation. Okay, ER wasn't really an office. It was a hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's like it's a professional workplace setting, but you're not doing emails unless you're an administrator.
No.
And the doctors on ER were saving lives.
If ER is an office show, then so is Law and Order. It just doesn't work.
From ER through 30 Rock and Parks and Recreations. You can name others. Even MASH was a show about the workplace.
No, a workplace. Again,
not a war.
Not an office.
Yeah.
A fucking construction site is a workplace. It's not an office.
And, of course, The Office. Without Dunder Mifflin, how would Jim and Pam have met? How could the utterly ridiculous Michael Scott have entered your sympathies without seeing him every day and knowing him? She just thinks TV is real.
Yeah.
She thinks we brought these people are tulpas that we brought to mind psychically and gave horrible life to, and then we are now invested in. And if we stop going to the office, they'll disappear like Tinkerbell. God, this is the kind of mind content you can only get by sparking off other minds in the office.
The primary location of daily integration in America, the coming together of all ages, religions, ethnicities, and political tendencies, all colors, classes, and condition, has been, during the past century, The Office. No, it hasn't.
That's wild. That's a wild thing to say.
Completely horseshit.
It's another one of those deals where it's insanely wrong, but when you consider the audience, the assumed audience for her content, then it's basically correct. Like that is the center of the gravity of American life as these people understand it.
It's where you learn to negotiate relationships with people very different from you. Where you discover
not that different. You're all in an office. You're all wearing suits and ties. You've all gone through the same general rituals of social values and behaviors and expectations.
I mean, like you do. It's true.
It's a homogenizing space.
Working any job or working an office job is about negotiating a relationship with someone very different from you, i.e. someone who owns the company or makes a lot more money than you do.
Right.
You negotiate your relationship with them every day based on how much they're willing to give you for giving most of the time that you're awake in this life that you have, making money for them.
But what about Michael Scott?
Well, I mean, he started out as sort of a buffoon and kind of an evil, malevolent force, but then he melted all our hearts.
God, the way the arc of that show is so hilarious. The way that they go, hey, the joke of this show is that Michael is awful and crosses boundaries, and it's a nightmare to be around him. And then by the end of it, it's like, you know what? He really was the best boss in the world. The show literally got Stockholm syndrome.
I would say that the Office is not the primary location of daily integration in America. It's the primary location of chosen family in America.
It's true, and
That is
and
true.
Friendsgivings. She should have talked about Friendsgivings. I bet they've taken a hit now.
It's where you learn to negotiate relationships with people very different from you. I mean, what was the huge diversity in the Wall Street Journal opinion page?
They're not that different.
Yeah. You discern all this in the joke, the aside, the shared confidence, the rolled eyes. And with all this variety, you manage to come together in a shared formal mission. Get that account, sell that property, get the story, process those claims. I mean, again,
You can
if you
feel the heroism
work,
just zinging through your fucking veins at the prospect.
if you work for a major newspaper, right? There's that All the President's Men thing. You can have there is this there's a glamorous notion and a cultural cachet to working in certain office fields, but I cannot processing those claims.
Process the claims. I seized the fire of Hephaestus.
Daily life in America happened in the office. If it doesn't, where will America happen? Well, on the internet, Peggy.
Exactly. The internet. The answer is the metaverse. We all know that now. We all know what's happening, but you're too fucking old to get the hint.
And here's your second biggest concern. My second worry. The end of The Office will contribute to polarization.
Oh, no, we can't have
That's
any
the
more of
worst
that.
thing happening to America right now.
We sure do got a lot of that.
Receding from office life will become another way of self-segregating. People will be exposed to less, and in their downtime, will burrow down into their sites, their groups, their online angers.
Definitely not happening now. Not like every interaction with somebody from your out group now is just further motivation to become more fucking sectarian and hostile.
I suppose what I fear is a more disembodied nation. You can see it on the TV news. Again, she's just watching TV again.
Just watching television.
The empty, echoing set where there used to be people at desks in the background running around. You see it in big offices when you go to see an accountant or a travel agent. There is no there. Travel agent. Who's going to see a travel agent in the last 30 years?
A travel agent.
God,
Throwing that in there at the end. That's genius.
This is like when Mr. Burns is checking in on his investments in Siam.
Am I too late for the 4:30 auto gyro to Prussia?
Oh, God, that's so good.
Disembodied isn't good.
Oh.
See, Peggy, she really likes body hot. She likes body feeling. She doesn't like disassociating.
She's all indica. She's all about
when
the
she's in an
indica.
empty office on Xanax and ketamine, she starts disassociating.
Yeah, no good.
But if she's got a good body high, she's in a meeting,
Yep.
Jeffrey Tubin's jacking off, they're getting a cuddle puddle started. Dude, that's connection.
Yeah.
That's burbling. That's bodies end spaces.
Yeah, she's going to take a trip down to her local office park so she can pick up a big block of ice to drag back to her house.
Disembodied isn't good. This fall and winter, I hope we see the buildings full and the people going in and out. It's just like Richard Scarry's busy town. She just wants to sit on one of those like carpets that they have for kids that are like a bird's eye view of a town. She wants to sit on that, but it's Washington D.C. and imagine people going in and out of little buildings.
See a little worm riding an apple.
I want the center of our cities to hum and thrum again. They're burbling, buzzing,
thrumming,
humming
humming.
and thrumming.
She wants a great vibrating metropolis.
She's like Walt Clyde Frazier. She's like, downtown Manhattan is humming and thrumming again after stumbling and bumbling through COVID. I don't want America to look like an Edward Hopper painting. Wait, who wouldn't want to be in an Edward Hopper painting?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
cool.
Gothic sort of quality
You got
of
a
it.
nice
It's,
hat on. You got a dignified stare. People wonder what's in your head.
I don't. She wants to look like a Salvador Dali painting. The clocks are melting again in Percocet Peggy's brain. He was the great artist of American loneliness.
Wait a minute. He made those paintings at the height of American office culture.
It's true.
So why would he be expressing loneliness at a time when offices were bringing us all together, Peggy?
He was the great artist of American loneliness. Empty streets, tables for one, everyone at the bar drinking alone. We weren't meant to be a Hopper painting. We were meant to be and work together.
We were doing that when he made those paintings. That means people were still lonely because we live isolated and alienated lives under capitalism, Peggy. There's no coat of paint you can put on it to fix it. It's a soul deep sickness. Oh, Peggy. Take another bar. You're fine.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I got to give her credit, though, for not trying to wedge in some bullshit action item or policy agenda. She just ends with like, I sure hope they show up again. I sure hope I could be in my car, my Uber, and I could go buy a fucking Hale and Hearty soup and see people out front waiting in line.